will be performing experiment 1, titled Determination of Specific Gravity, Water Absorption, and Density of Aggregates and Fillers.
Here are the materials and equipment needed for this experiment. First is the drying oven, the balance, the vessel, the absorbent cloth, the shallow tray, the sieve, and the pan for collecting sample, and then the water tank.
This procedure is adopted from ASTM C12788, or also known as a standard test method for density, relative density, and absorption of coarse aggregates.
First step is to obtain a sample of the aggregates from the laboratory. Since the samples obtained were in their naturally moist condition, the requirement for initial drying is eliminated.
Next, weigh the sample along with the water and container and get the mass of the water plus sample. Third, remove the sample from the container and allow it to drain for a couple of minutes. Use dry cloth or used newspaper and spread the aggregates. Leave it exposed to air away from direct sunlight until visible films of water are removed. Note that the aggregates should still have a damp appearance. While the aggregates are drying from air, fill the container with water. It should be from the level of the marking from the previous water, and weigh the container plus water and get the mass of the water alone. Next, remove the water from the container and return the sample from step 3 to the container. Weigh the container plus sample and get the mass of the sample alone. Sixth step is to remove the sample aggregates from the container and gently transfer it to a separate container that is suitable for laboratory oven. Oven dry the aggregates at 105 degrees Celsius for 24 hours.
After drying the samples in the laboratory oven, cool the sample in the air temperature for 1 to 3 hours, or until the aggregate has cooled to a temperature that is safe to handle, and weigh the oven dried samples.
For the finer aggregates, repeat the same procedure from the coarse aggregates. However, in the procedure number 1, use the number 4 sieve and must be retained from number 10 sieve. The following are the results we obtained after performing the experiment number 1. So these are the data we measured for test number 1 using fine aggregates with a sample weight of 1,000 grams or 1 kilogram. For test 1, the following average are: for specific gravity 2.09, apparent specific gravity 1.24, dry relative density is 2.09 grams per ml, saturated relative density is 2.65 grams per ml, apparent relative density is 5.22 grams per ml, and water absorption is 27.58%. According to ASTM C127, the average relative density of fine aggregates is 2.4 to 2.9 grams per ml. This means that our test samples falls within that range. Next is, these are the data we obtained for the test number 2 using coarse aggregates with a test sample of 2,000 grams or 2 kilograms. And the average specific gravity for test number 2 is 1.3 and the apparent specific gravity is 3.04. Dry relative density is 1.3 grams per ml. Saturated relative density is 1.43 grams per ml and apparent relative density is 1.49 grams per ml and a water absorption of 10.3%. Using ASTM C128, it said that the average bulk density of coarse aggregates falls between 1,200 to 1,750 kilograms per meter cube. This means that it falls between the range of 1.2 grams per ml to 1.75 grams per ml, which means that our test sample falls within that range also.